I have COVID. That's why I haven't been feeling well the last couple days. It feels a lot like the flu. I would say it's not really worse than the flu this time around. I would say it's pretty comparable. Comparable. But yeah, it was super hard to do that Friday night stream. And then Saturday morning when I got up and was feeling just as bad, I took the test and I had COVID. So you've never had it, Cross? Wow. Yeah, probably better never to get it, but I've had it a few times now. I've had it 3 or 4 times. And it's very much like having the flu for me. I understand this disease weirdly is different for every single person. Excuse me. Anyway, so I was very persistent Friday night about doing the commentary. I was like, you're feeling a bit bad. You're feeling really bad, but just keep going. But today, I'm going to excuse myself from doing much commentary. I'm just going to try and get the tournaments going for folks. So, let's make sure. Well, I think I set this up yesterday. The play commands should have the correct links for the arenas here. And we can watch Kostya's game over here in Portugal while we wait for the tournaments to kick off. I don't have much to say about it. He seems to be playing an English opening. Well, I saw him play 1c4, so he's definitely playing an English opening. I don't know who makes up the opening names on chess.com Skivix. That's a good question. Some of them are funny. I can recap Kostya's game for if you like. He had a tough loss in the second round yesterday. A King's Indian / Benoni kind of game that looked quite all right for Kostya, and then maybe he was trying to be a genius or something, but he sacked or traded his queen for a couple pieces worth a little bit less than a queen. Yeah, I saw the game, Skivix. I guess you guys saw it live, right? Somebody was doing commentary on here. It seemed like they were doing a good job, so thank you to them for doing that. Big thank you. I watched the game. I didn't really understand why he did the sacrifice. Like, I wasn't sure, did he think his position was good or bad? Was he excited or desperate? Or I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know. My first guess would be that he got excited and wanted to be a genius. Maybe he missed the concept of the white knight going to c4 to block the diagonal to f1. I don't know. Yeah, I also thought he had a generally acceptable position, Skivix. I thought the game was going fine for him. So, and it felt like he opted into the madness, right? Like he played c4, c3, c2. It didn't seem like he had his back against the wall. It seemed like he had some latitude and some choices. So I don't know exactly what was going on there. Hopefully he was just feeling like a genius and missed a little detail somewhere, and it's not the end of the world. I'd also like to think that I'm a genius when I play, and I'd like to think that Kostya is a genius, so I could definitely get behind those feelings. Hey, Fried Foxy, the play command only works on Twitch, I'm afraid. So if you're on YouTube, you could try going to the Chess Dojo Club. Which is that longer link in my information below. Oh, we hit 6,000 people yesterday or today. Friday we didn't have 6,000. Now we do. And then you can find the links. You can maneuver through the club to find the links to the tournaments here. There's 3 sections based on your chess.com rapid rating. I would guess Skibix, when he played c2, it was because he was planning queen takes c1. He was setting it up. Oh. So let's see what he's doing today, shall we? So, English opening, symmetrical, c4, c5. Kostya gets the d4 break, and so he gets a little bit of a Maroczy bind kind of structure here. I hope you can. I hope that gets you there, Fried Foxy. Let me know if you need any more help getting there. Nickel Alloy. I don't know who's going to win the Sinkfield Cup this year. I saw Fabi win 2 nice games in a row a couple rounds ago. Then it seemed like the players drew every single game for a round or 2. Although Duda versus Gukesh was an insane game, it was not like a snoozy draw. They're probably playing round 6 or 7 today. I don't know. Let me see. Do I have it open over here? Grand Chess Tour Sinkfield Cup. Round 6 today. It doesn't look like it started yet. I mean, you could bet on Fabi, I guess, just from him being in first place. That's always reasonable. This should be a good game. Gukesh versus Firouzja. Or sadly, we could say whoever plays Abdusattorov in the last round will win the tournament. That's just a mean joke. I apologize. I like him. Here, Black unleashes the diagonal. Right, Kostya counters it. Black attacks the knight again. Kostya defends it. So, yeah, both players have room for all their pieces for the moment. Nobody has like a bad position or a good position yet. c4 versus d6. This pawn here provides a little more, is slightly more central, but this one's not far from the center. And it provides a little more space than the d6 pawn. So they should be fairly balanced. Maybe a minuscule edge for white, just a little bit more freedom. The inclusion of h4 and h5, though, does keep white from playing the normal e4 and f4 and stuff too easily because of this weak square here. I wonder if at this point Kostya could have ignored Black's pawn, maybe. Maybe even let it come here. I don't know. Like, there's this option to keep the square away from the knight, right? And then if they play h4, you play g4. Idea to still rush all the pawns. And if Black ever castles, you could say, hey, that pawn's weak. So sometimes when you play h3, that's enough. It stops their pawn and then they don't do anything more. If then they castle and then let's say we play like something kind of like in the game here, then this might be slightly better than the pawn on h4. I think that was like one of the major decisions for Kostya this game. And if I look at the time, if I believe it, that's the move he spent the most time on, actually, was this h4 move. So he probably thought between h4, h3, and, ignoring it. Like, play something like knight d5 and just leave it there. Did I see Kamer entering the top 10? Yes, I expected Vincent to be a top 10 player, for most of his career. Like, if you look at the top players from his generation, plus or minus 5 years from him, he's, probably like the sixth most talented player. Sixth most talented player. So I expected him to spend, the bulk of his 20s in the, around number 8 to 12 in the world. 7, maybe as high as 7th place. Probably more like 8th through 12th place. Weissenhaus was great. Obviously, that was really impressive. You saw the Dojo Talks Blitz. Hey, Renga, how are you? I have to forget about morals in Blitz. There is no such thing. I'd rather be a lower rated Blitz player with morals, Skibix, than a higher rated Blitz player without morals. I refuse to forget about morals in any sphere of human activity. Thanks, Prophylaxis. Yeah, it turns out I have COVID, so I am definitely not in the tip-top shape here. I think Sindarov will probably be top 10 at some point, Nikolai Alloy, yeah. I think Sindarov, like Kamer, has the kind of talent where I feel he's guaranteed to be in the top 10 at some point, but not quite world champion. I don't think he could be world champion. Okay, so that was a major decision point for Kostya. Black's happy to just park a knight here. When you're slightly cramped like Black in these positions with the c4 pawn, you're always looking for a little square somewhere that one of your pieces can chill and use. So you're like slightly happy to have this. Yeah, it's rare for Kostya to be slightly behind on the clock. He's fairly practical about his clock, so he usually plays, pretty quickly on simple moves or positional moves or instinctive moves. And then sometimes he knows his opening. Sometimes he's prepped. Not always, but say he's more often prepped than caught with his pants down. So, I normally see Kostya slightly ahead on the clock, actually. The position looks fine for both sides for now, as I already said one time. We've got some other dojoers playing. Matt playing a very, very weird all pawns opening. Check this thing out. When I first saw his position, it was move 8, and it was like they were just playing some special game with the pawns and they forgot about the other pieces. It is a symmetrical English, exactly, Foxy. But here's how it started. This Caro with the quick c5, a very ambitious variation from Black. And then here I think Matt just makes like a big misunderstanding of the trade-off between center versus outside passers, and he goes for a4, b5, these two pawns against these two pawns. I'm sure that Black's borderline winning after this trade-off, which works in some openings, so it's just a misapplied concept. The most famous opening that's like this is the note boom variation. And in the note boom variation, basically this pawn is back here, and there's some development, like knight on f3 and bishop b2 maybe, and it's very, very interesting fight. But here this pawn is exposed and advanced in an area where we're now weak. It's cut off by the strength of these pawns, and this one's already a passer, so this is going to be brutal for white, also with no development. Black kept pushing pawns too. They tried to make it to move 10 without moving a piece, but on move 10 they each moved a piece. If black trades queens and bishops, and Matt can put knights on like d4 and c3, then it'll swap from black being winning to white being a bit better. So I think black's playing very bad moves here, probably with c4 and bishop check and queen a5, all bad moves. Oh, and Matt offers the queen trade. I like it. Just like encourage your opponent if they want to jump off the cliff, you know? So it's a super complicated and weird position. Obviously super double-edged with white the 2 pass pawns, black the 2 pass pawns. So it's very natural that we'll get a lot of strategic mistakes from both sides, and you know, we'll see how they do and how they calculate when they get deeper into the game. For now, I think, you know, these trades are improving white's lot, and probably the game is pretty complicated at the moment. You know, not obviously better for either side. Black should probably put this knight on d7 as soon as possible to keep white's knight here so it doesn't go to d4. Like if black trades here and white takes with, let's say, the b knight, then I would say it's pretty important to play knight. You can't go to c6, right? Pretty important to go here to prevent knight d4 from white, which would free up f4 and just put the knight on an amazing square. But there's an interesting argument to be made for king takes c3. King takes d2. Ooh. Symptoms, Landon. Congestion. Dizziness. I'm so congested that I'm dizzy. You know, my ears are stuffed and I can't pop them. Fever and chills, hot and cold flashes, and full body aches and pains. Why not rook takes a4? Oof. Let's check on that, Minta. I was just going to say maybe white would do this, you know, with the idea of controlling these squares with the help of the king even. But you're right, Matt might have hung a pawn in his eagerness to trade queens. Let's have a look. This line is insane. Now the rook's sort of trapped. I wanted to play, you know, something truly insane. Rook a8, of course, you know me. Just want to try these kind of moves as soon as possible. But there's a very, very simple solution for black. This b pawn's undefended, right? It's all cut off. So we'd have to play knight c3. Now the question is, can black deal with rook a8? Given one move to prepare. The only move I see is king here to here. They are prophylaxis, but I've always kept my sense of taste when I've had COVID, interestingly. You know, I can taste perfectly normally. There's a touch of salt, unfortunately, in this peanut butter. There's cinnamon in the bread. This rook a4, as pointed out by Minter, it's hard for white to justify losing a pawn here. But I guess white's not completely dead. Knight g5 felt kind of pointless, but maybe it was playable too. Seems like at minimum we're making a draw for white, and why not take the opponent's h-pawn? So I don't know, maybe I rejected that too soon. Black's played rook a4 after about 3 minutes of thought. They grabbed the pawn. So, Yeah, it's mildly unfortunate. Folks, remember that if you want to play chess, you can join the Chess Dojo Rapid Tournaments. They start in 14 minutes. There are 3 different rating sections. I just sent the links on Twitch. If you're over on YouTube, you'll have to find your way over there. Through the Chess Dojo Club, maybe, like so. I don't know if I can send a link on YouTube, but like this, for example, might help if I'm allowed to. Do I think Kavutskiy should just play classical and focus on being 2800, maybe number 1? I think that every chess player should enjoy chess to their maximum and their preferences. If Kavutskiy wants to just play classical, he should just play classical. If he decides he loves bullet, he can play bullet. Whatever he wants. Same thing I said for Magnus when he, quit the World Championship cycle. Every chess player, great or small, should be free to play the game the way they want, in the format they want. So, remember to join the tournaments. Anushka's got a Catalan. This might be the moment for 95 or something. Try to line this up. Or I suppose you could always just trade it. I mean, it's fine. Or play bishop d2. Let black trade it. Sometimes this bishop goes to a5 in this line. Anushka might also have some dreams of putting this pawn on b4 to clamp that c pawn for sure. Yeah, it's fine. It's just kind of a normal Catalan. She'll be happy with it. Rachel's game. This is a very complicated line. Wow. Here she could keep the white king in the center, right? By trading on d2. I don't think white knows what they're doing too much with this line. This intense line, so... Matthew has traded queens, that's correct. Yeah, as long as he does this and knight c3 and rook a7, it's still a game. If he had traded the rooks, then I think he's basically busted. Because black's queen is too strong, right? He needs to, for hanging the pawn, he needs to at least get the a file. And the way to get the a file is the queen trade. So he's done it right, and we'll still get a game there. Progress on Kostya's game. Black spent a long time on rook e8 because they're kind of out of things to do. Both sides are kind of out of things to do. It's the kind of position where I don't see a plan for either side. Oh, for the Catalan ski picks? In this line here, can white prevent the bishop from reaching b7? I don't know. I imagine in this position you could also maybe play a4 to try and restrain black. But if you play knight e5 here, black probably has queen takes d4 because your knight's hanging afterwards, right? There could be a line with like rook d1, b5, knight e5, maybe knight to d5, e4, knight f6, something like this, maybe. I don't know. You can probably also play a4. And what is it that black does there? They still do something. I think then they just go bishop d7, queen c4, bishop here. And then they don't play b5. And the point is the bishop goes to these squares here. And then this is just a slight weakness of the b4 square. They can then play like bishop d5, followed by knight c6, knight b4. It's all theory, and I don't think it's bad for white to take. It's just another line. Here I would think white would maybe want to play knight d2 or knight c3 to prevent bishop e4, but she allowed it, and I don't know how much it matters either. I guess I'm probably not, I'm not an expert on it, but these look like moves I've seen played. You're too materialistic. You don't feel comfortable with some of the positions where black holds on to the c4 pawn. Fried Foxy is saying a4 and queen c4 are both main lines there. They look like the logical moves to me. And to me, it also feels a little bit risky to let black play a6, b5, and hold the pawn there. Kostya is playing the Maya International. Folks, there's about 7 or 8 minutes left to join the Chess Dojo Weekend Rapid Tournaments. We've got a 1700 plus group, a 13 to 1700 group, and an under 1300 group, based on your chess.com rapid rating. Go ahead, join a tournament, play some games. It'll be fun. The under 1300 does not yet have enough players. They need 2 more players to have a tournament. See about 1700 plus. 1700 plus, we've got 14 people waiting to play. Holy moly. That's a great tournament. That is great. We got British Capital Games back, who I watched on Friday night fights. We've got Mohit, who I haven't seen in a while. We've got Aaron, who plays frequently. Fried Foxy from YouTube found their way here. No problem. Great. Let's check our midsection. Wow, that's a stacked tournament there. Great. There's some sub 1700s in the wrong section, Fried Foxy. Let me have a look. Folks, there's 3 sections by rating, so do try to join the right section. It's more fun to play people close to you in rating. So looking at this section here, we've got 2 players in the 1700 plus who should be in the under 1300. So CBS, Chess Fan, and Bushido Forever, if you hear me. You guys should leave that tournament and join the under 1300 tournament. That's the one you want. You get to play players close to you in rating. Oh, CBS Chess Fan is in both tournaments somehow. That's weird. You've got a 1v1 with a fellow dojoer. Nice. Just a practice game before your tournament, right? Perfect, King Chess. Perfect. Some of our principles about how to prepare and how to get ready for things are so obviously good. You'd think that they would take over and everyone would start following these things. Like the idea of playing a training classical game online before you go to your tournament. So helpful. I think everybody would have heard about that at some point and all do it together. Ride the bike. That sounds good, Rango. I wish I had the health to get outside today. Preiskloen. You're also in the wrong section, it seems to me. You've joined the under 1300, but you belong in the 13 to 1700 group with your nice rating. How to leave the other one bold cool? I'm not sure. You would have to go to the link for the other one. Let me see if you're still in it. 1 second. I'm going to try and help you out here. We've got 5 minutes to figure this out. Let me check if you're still in it. Yeah, you're still in it. So I would say try and go to this link here and then see if there's some kind of a quit or leave button or an X button or something. The button I have is like a cancel button that would close the whole tournament. But let's see. If I join the tournament, do I have a way to leave? Oh God, I don't see any way to leave. God. Come on, chess.com. See, full screen mode. Is there any way to get out? Cancel the whole tournament. No. Close the tournament. Would you like to leave this arena? Yes. Oh, I think I left it. Let's try again. Yeah. Okay. So do you see this little button over here? Wait, let me try and fix it. You see that little X where it says Sunday Rapid, and then in the upper right hand corner there's this little X here. If you click in that X, that will quit you from the wrong tournament. You just close that arena, and that'll quit you out of it. Oh, and thanks ChessName for coming through with the advice as well. Hey, King Chess. Normally I would 100%, but today I'm not actually going to do commentary. I'm just getting the tournament started. I have COVID, and I'm going to lie down as soon as the tournament kicks off. Yeah, that's a good topic, Ranga. Thank you. The site is a bit of a labyrinth, yeah. Laskarf Lesto, you're going to need to navigate your way through this club page from YouTube, or find your way to our Twitch. But that automatic command !play, that only works on Twitch. From the club page, you can find these links here to the different sections. Let me have a look for you, Bold Cool. Yeah, I see you in the correct arena, the under 1300. We need 2 more players under 1300 to kick off this tournament in the next 2 minutes. So if you're under 1300, you want to play some 15-minute games, please hurry over to this arena here and join Far Eastern and Bold Cool, aka CBS Chess Fan. Okay, they need 2 more players to have a tournament, and it's much more fun to have a tournament than to not have a tournament. Bishop A1 from Kostya. Now the piece is defended, so he can make knight moves in the future. Whoa, stop that, chess.com. He can consider knight moves now. All right, Hermat's got into the right section. We only need 1 more player under 1300. 1 more player. Come on, folks. Come on down to the tournament. It's super fun. One more player. Lots of fun. Especially if you're in the wrong section, you might want to go to the right section now. I know there's some players under 1300 in the 1700 plus section. You guys could switch as well and go to the correct section. That would be swell. Sick guy announcing Bushido forever. You're going to play only people 1,000 points higher rated than you. And get clobbered. Bushido forever. Go to the under 1,300. And you'll have a great tournament there. Oh my god, we've got like a dozen players over 2,000. What a tournament over there. Bushido forever. You want to go to the under 1,300. In the under 1,300, you could win a game. You could win many games. But if you stay in the 1,700 plus, then the under 1,300 gets canceled. It will be a shame. Come on and get the right game. Oh well. JWMCC with 2 seconds left makes it into the under 1,300 arena, which now holds. Thank you so much, JWM. That was beautiful and clutch. Oh, well done, Jay. Oh, the agony. Nice. A knight comes out. Development. Pawns in the center and knights attacking him. Boom, boom. The knights capture him. Symmetrical position. This is a great line. 1 second. All right. Good job, everybody. Enjoyed the tournaments. I think it's going to be a blast. I wish I felt well enough to play. I wish you a great day and go on my merry way. Just going to be lying down in bed there. Have a good day. I'll see you again soon.